am. Hey everybody, Kevin here from HumboldtCraftworks. Welcome back to another episode of Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. That's me, and today is the last day of this sliding shelf unit build. Today we're done. In today's video, we're going to machine all of the parts. We're going to dado, we're going to finger joint, we're going to put 80-degree bevels using the dead bug. Then we're going to use the tall fence jig to cut 80-degree little bevels on the bottom of the shelves. We're going to put the damn thing together. We're going to domino parts. We're going to do all sorts of things. I'm going to make 3 different jigs. I'm going to fix my screw up from the last time when I drilled right through the face. I'll show you what that looks like. We're going to put little accent pieces on there. Going to glue everything up, and we're done. The only thing I didn't show in this video is me putting the hard wax on all of the parts because it just takes long and it's boring and I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. It's just hard to film stuff like that. I actually had to use the edge sander in a very peculiar way. Curved face going into the straight top and bottom left a little part that needed to be edge sanded, and it took me 45 minutes to set this damn shot up, but I think it worked, and you'll see that in the video. At the end, we'll see everything all glued up. If you saw the thumbnail, you know they're all done. They all look pretty damn good, and one little mishap I had looked better than it did before, and I wish I would have done them all that way. If you've watched the other videos, thanks for watching those too. This is the third one, the last one, like I said before, and we're done. We're done. On to the next thing. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I have a lot to be thankful for. My friends, my family, my granddaughter, all of you out there. I'm a pretty lucky dude. So if you have any questions or comments, please do so below. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. That really helps. So let's get to the video. Ready? And here we go. I'm going to do that again. Since we have this blade on here, we're going to set up to actually cut a 60-degree angle in our shelves. I know I have to set things up. I'm going to show them how it's done. See, I get harassed every 10 minutes. We're going to throw the blade over to like 20 degrees, I think it is. We'll go through the whole thing. I'm just going to change out the throat. I'll be right back. All right, so we're gonna go to 60 degrees. No, I don't like that. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make up an angle. I'm gonna come in, let's say 2 inches. I'm gonna come up here, I'm gonna put a mark at 3/8. And then we're just gonna connect the dots and see what it looks like. It's something like that, 80 degrees. And we set it up like this to cut 80 degrees. We should set the saw to 10. We have our Wixie right here. It doesn't have to be perfect because it doesn't go into anything else, but it'd be kind of cool if it said 80. Oh, 80.1, of course, you stupid piece of poop. All right, that's set at 80. Then a pencil mark, put the 2-inch mark across there. I have these teeth up above where that goes. We got this 3/4 inch fence. This is set at 3/8. We got to go to 1 1/8, and that should give us the right distance. We'll check it again. Here's my tall fence jig. It's a piece of scrap wood. Just straddles the fence, and we just slide it over like this. You can push it way up here. You can pull it way back here. You can do whatever the hell you want, and then we're just going to take this and slide it through. I used to have a board that I put up here that would actually hold this in place. That would keep this square. I don't know where the hell it is. Also, we're going to check this and make sure that's fairly square. I think I made this so it clamps right on the fence on both sides. I haven't used this thing in years. That's pretty damn square. This kind of needs to go this way, just a butt hair. A little tiny one too. Oh yeah, clamped into place. So I'm gonna double check my line back here. Make sure it's pretty close to that 3/8 mark. It's on the money. Okay, so the reason we're doing all of these first is because we don't have to change the blade. And I don't have my little pusher thing because I don't know where the hell I put it. I can show you how to make one real quick. Should we do that? No. Okay, I found some scraps. Piece of wood on the top, 2 pieces on either side like this. When you get done, it's just gonna look like that. That way we can slide this over and use this as a push stick. Look at all the things we're learning. We're gonna make a jig in no time flat. I'm just gonna take some pins, stick it in there. I'm not gonna glue anything. I'm gonna put them on a slight angle. So I put them down swing a little bit, up a little bit. We're gonna take this guy right here. We're just gonna tack it into place just to hold it. And then we're gonna put 2 screws in. If I put screws in here, I could like tighten them up and it'd make it a little bit more stiff to cut through, which might be a good thing. There we go. I'm gonna hold this down like this, and we're gonna push back here. So all my fingers will be up here, and that should work out well. The good thing to do now would be to sand this or wax it. What I am gonna do right now is I'm just gonna take a little bit off the edge so we're not rubbing down here, so I don't have any friction against the table on the end. That'll slide in. We're off the deck about 1/8 of an inch. So let's try it out and see what happens. So the way this works the best for me was to actually put the piece in there. I was grabbing the back here with my thumb and pulling this towards me. And then I'm pushing down and then I feed it through. That way if something happens, I can just do like that and get hit with all this crap, but I'm not cutting fingers off. There you go. So we did all the shelves. So what's next? Next thing we're gonna do is the finger joints. And there it is. You wanna see how it all works out. If you wanna beef this up at all, which might be a good idea, is just put some triangle blocks in here. Don't go all the way up in case you wanna make a jig like this. So whatever you put back here, if you have triangle blocks, don't make it that tall, because that'd be dumb. That's how the whole thing works, just slides back and forth. You saw me make it, it takes 10 minutes. All right, well, I'll see you guys in a little bit, which will probably be 2 seconds from now. Ready? Let it go. This is what I just bought recently. It's labeled everything. It says 1/2 inch, it's for the 1/2 inch. Just put these together and it'll make a 1/2 inch. We're gonna do the 1/2 inch rip right down the middle first. Really? And that's just on the face. Now we gotta line these up. All right, they're all going the right way. All the teeth are like not touching. This says set fence to 1 7/8 minus 32nd. 1 7/8 minus 32nd. Right there. I should put batteries in this thing, but I don't really have time right now. So we can actually just set it here like 1/8 of an inch. I keep a bunch of shims when I make small parts and stuff. 1/8 inch shim, just drop that right down on there. Lock it up, put it over here. This is actually magnetic too. I'm just gonna touch the point to it. There it is. A little bit low to start with. I'm gonna run this through there. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna crank this thing up, run it in just a little bit, and we'll see how it works. All right, we're gonna check this side to side. 1.5, 1.5 on the money. There's that. Now what we need to do is find all the fronts and run them. And then we're done, then we have to switch it out again. And here we go, right down the middle. I forgot to sand that. So we did them all the same. And if we're off just a butt hair, they'll all be off exactly the same. They're right on the money. We gotta add another 1/4 inch to this puppy. Crap. All right, here we go. Make sure all that's lined up the way it should be. It looks like it is. How is it exactly the same? It says it's exactly the same. Are we touching somewhere? Holy crap, dude. Well, we're gonna continue on this thing. I'll turn you back on when we get there.
A few moments later.
All right, here we go. So we're doing all the 27-inch ones. I have the X on the top, putting it face down. Top will be going that way. In case they're all screwed up, they'll all be screwed up the same. There it is. So we went with 1/4 inch deep dados. They're all equal, 4 1/4. You can put an oak one with a cherry one. They come out exactly the same. It doesn't matter. And then we got these guys here. We're gonna line them up like this. See, they all line up. Don't move what you don't have to move. So now what we're gonna do is finger joint stuff. I have to figure that out. I have to make this dado now 5/8 of an inch. So I'm gonna remove all the backs. So see, these are all the backs, right? We don't have to do squat to any of this. So here's the jig I made from another jig I used to have a while ago. This is a Soji screen jig for doors. So I'll take a picture of the doors right here. They're not super fancy. They're just maple doors with a bunch of screens in them and grid work. Put some clamps on it this time so I don't have to hold on to anything. Everything's just made out of scrap. Here's the back. So this is all just quickly made as fast as I could possibly make it. This block here is what we're going to use to hold it over 5/8 of an inch. And then we're gonna flip it over and cut it again at 5/8 of an inch by 7/8. I don't even know if it'll go that high. I'm already hitting the damn thing. Shit bags. I have to raise this up, cut through the plate, and hopefully it goes up high enough. Man, it's up there. I can't tell where top dead center is here. So we're just gonna have to guess. Hear that? Man, it's hitting that phenolic base thing. Holy crap. For right now, we're doing a thickness test, and that's it. 5/8 on the money. Just have to go up a skosh. Try it one more time. Try the other side. Hands free. That's right on the money. Some people freak out when it comes to making jigs. They're like, oh, it's got to be perfect. It's got to do this, got to do that. They get all snobby with their jig making. I basically make it out of garbage. Whatever I got laying around, it's not really garbage. It's just scrap, you know? I don't put a lot of time and effort into these jigs on purpose. Some take a lot of time, some don't. You want them built well. You don't want them falling apart on you. And if you're going to use them 100 or 1,000 times, then you really, really want to make them decent. And most everything I've done for the last 30 years has been just one-offs. This jig right here, this sled, was made for soji doors. It was a one-off thing. So I do want to beef that up. We got a piece of mahogany. We'll just do that, huh? And this is just precautionary. This is our scrap piece. And all we're going to do now is we're going to run this and flip it over and run it again. The only bummer about these kind of jigs, everything's trapped and goes through the little holes and blows all the dust in your face, which sucks. So I'm going to put on my mask. It's pretty close. It looks fairly close. Right here is off just barely. That one's like 64th off a quarter, and that one's just barely at a quarter. Yeah, Squeaker says the Japanese always make flaws in everything they make, just because they're not perfect. Neither am I. I'm calling it good. Can you see that? Yeah, we're gonna call it good. It's just barely off. So do you do them all? Do we do them all? I think we do them all. This is what we're waiting for right here. And then we get to shape this. Piece of walnut, when I ran it through there, I saw a bunch of pieces just come flying out in chunks. I thought for sure it was a goner. All right, now we have to do the opposite of all of this. Just one side of all of these. It's going to be the same height, so 7/8, and then we have to take out 5/8 here, 5/8 here, which means that we just butt this right up against the edge of that. I might not have to move this. Definitely going to have to move this block. So I'm going to do the same thing again on a piece of scrap. Got to make 2 cuts. Do it really quick here. Man, that's tight. They're flush on the ends. Yeah, and I think that'll work. How's this side? One side's a little stiffer. You see that down there? I don't know if you can see it or not. Well, it kind of holds together. Ooh. They stick out a little bit, top and bottom. All right, let's try it on a real one. If it works on one, I'm just going to keep going. All right, here we go. That was something else. I got them finger jointed. I've got everything pretty much figured out. Now we just have to cut these down so they're all the same. So these shelves will fit in here nice and snug. Put them in there like this. That's in there. So I could also just mark this, I guess. Tomorrow we shape, cut these little tops and bottoms to size, domino, and put screws in everything. We got to bevel all of these little corners just slightly, and I think we sand it and we're done. So you can do this part-time. You can do it on the weekends. It might take you a month to build 4 of them. I got to get going here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in a few minutes. Oh, I'm getting flushed down the toilet. Oh my God. I'm gonna take these and cut a little under a 1/16 of an inch outside the line. Preferably we're just gonna leave the line. So we got them all done. Now we have to shape them. On the GSM router table over there, I tried to get them as close as I could to the line, but you want to stay about a 1/16 of an inch away. So when you take this jig and you put it on top of there, and you double stick tape it down, flush trim it, on to the next one. I'll see you, it'll probably be dark out. 1.5 inches of the speed tape. And take them all and rub them down. Bring the monster back in here. And butting the template into the top. Take my fingers down here. Oh, I already touched the damn thing, darn it. Oh, hope that'll work. Template on the top. If we had a pattern bit, the bearings would be down here. This is much safer because the bearing's on top and the cutter's below down in there. That way you don't have to worry about your fingers as much. See what I'm doing here? I'm just pushing down, trying to separate that tape from the MDF. I'm gonna try to pry it apart a little bit with my fingers. Come down here to the middle, a little space in there, and do the same damn thing. Once you find it, you can just pry it apart. And there it is, pretty simple. And also leaves a little bit of residue on the inside sometimes. That's why I put it to the inside and I didn't use the face. So here's the first thing we're gonna do. We're gonna put the top and bottom on. We're gonna stuff the fingers in there. And then we're going to take a pencil and we're going to mark this corner here. I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. When you put them together, there's a little lip, like right there. What I did is I just took a pencil and marked it. And I'm going to edge sand that till it's flush with the line. I got to do the same on this side. This one didn't stick out that far. There you go, here's the other side. This one's sticking out pretty good. Mark that with a pencil. We'll flip it over. It's like one side's sticking out more than the other. And that's just the way the finger joints came out. But that'll be fine. We're just going to sand that all together. Now we got 6 of these things to do over at the edge sander. Okay, that was a learning experience. Hopefully it'll track and it'll stay right there. And you see that line? That's what I'm going to be looking at. We're going to just hold this up, slightly taper from here to here. We're not even going to try to touch the back. We're just going to taper the front a little bit. So one I'm going to have to lift up like this, and the other side I'm going to have to lift up off the deck like that. So before we attach the top and bottom, we're going to take this edge, which we just edge sanded, sand it real quick. Do the other side. All right, now we're just going to sand it with 150 a little bit. You can ease the edges. Then you can see right there, that's in alignment. See the back? Perfectly in alignment. I'm going to get my small square and we're going to mark in a 1/2 inch. So a 1/2 inch is dead center of the top and bottom. Mark that. We're going to take a tapered bit and an 1.5 inch screw. So the tapered part sticks down about 3/16, 1/4 inch. Everything's set in place where it wants to be. I'm going to hit the center of that right there, and I'm going to countersink this until it just barely goes in. And then we want to screw this in. You want to make sure that screw is in there flush. Parts have already been pre-sanded and beveled. Now we can take this and hit it with the orbital sander. Break the edges a little bit, run over that tip again, and there it is. The finger joints will keep it strong, and that screw will hold it together. We have all the pieces ready to go, ready to put the backs on them. And here's how we're going to go about this. Just take my square set to 3/4 inch right here. I'm just going to take and mark all of this like this, flip it over, do the same damn thing here. It's just the production way of building stuff. At each sequence, you just do the same thing over and over again. Make sure you get everything right. There's those. And now we're doing this side here. It's very awkward when you're trying to film yourself and show everybody how things go. It's just weird. Okay, there we go. Domino time. All right, here's the domino machine we're going to use. We put the little rest on there, like a 90-degree rest. We have the middle wiggle going on right there. Give us some room to move everything around. We have this, the depth set to 20. This is at 90 degrees. So that should work out pretty dang well. So how are we gonna manage this? I don't want to hold it up here and I don't want to go sideways. It kind of needs to be down here.
Really?
And this is even worse because this is like this tall. Crap. Huh. Oh. What would be the fastest way to do this? I guess the fastest way would be to make like a little L bracket that I could just push down here that I could attach to my bench here. Or, yeah, that wouldn't work either. I got a chair. I got my little Viper chair. Wonder if that would work. Got the Viper chair, I'm just gonna put it here. That worked cool for that. And I think I did it on the right side, which is awesome. Now, let's see. have the same problem with this damn thing. Dip it in there like that. Let's try it, see what happens. Okay, here we go. Oh, poop. One side at a time, I guess. That's pretty dang good. That looks good. Put a little line there. 1 3/4. This one's 3/8 of an inch because it's the center of that guy. All right, so we're gonna do this because that works pretty easy. It feels flush. You want to definitely make sure that's flush before you put that in it. Straight up and down, straight as you can go. Okay, let's see if these silly shelves work. Slide it in, see how bad it is. All right, so far so good. This one has the epoxy nuts in the back. This one had an epoxy nut in the back. Dude, that's just perfect. There we go. Yay! I'm gonna take all these shelves out and then I'm gonna go ahead and glue this in. Fill this with glue, just a little bit. We don't need a lot of glue for this crap. I put glue in there. I'm just gonna dip this in here, a little on here. I'm just gonna put a dot right there in the middle like that. Do the same on this side, just a little on the edge and just slightly up. Right down the middle, up a little bit. Flip this around now. Tap this into place. Okay, there it is. We're gonna let that sit overnight. So we have this problem. And it's not really a problem until I started looking at it and thinking about it last night, and I'm like, those dots look stupid. So I think I'm just gonna take whatever I use on here, cross them in the middle. Let's make a jig.
No.
How are we gonna make a jig that's gonna work with this thing? Well, we're gonna find a hunk of plywood, and we're just going to make a 1/2 inch spacer in there, which is right here. Put it on either end, and clamp it down and run it. We're gonna see how that works. All right, so I was going through the pile over there and I found this piece of maple. And then I put it up against here, think, oh, I'll just make a jig, and then look at that. It butts right into the fingers. It's right on the damn pencil mark. And it's right on the freaking line. Well, how the hell that happened? I have no idea. So this is what we're gonna do. 3 inches on either side. So we're gonna make these 9 inches long. Jigs are basically very simple things to build. You just have to think of what's the easiest way, what's the fastest way, and is it safe? Now I gotta come across here with something. We're just gonna do like that. Doesn't have to be fancy. We're just gonna, got a nail gun? So we have straight lines that we could follow. And when I'm looking down, that'll work out great. This one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna rely on butting into these for a nice square cut, because it's literally touching that. I didn't make it that way, it's just the way it worked. So then we have to figure out how we're gonna hold this down. Gonna use spring clamps. Okay, so I made the jig. It needs some work. I can get the bearing in there, but I need to just relieve the top a little bit. Just a little bit, because it's acting like it's too tight for the bearing. You can see that or not. It's so burned up and old. It's kind of garbage, but I can get it in there. It's not very sharp. So I don't know if it's gonna blow this thing apart or not. I'm gonna butt this all the way in so it uses this as a stop so it won't blow out the corner. And we're just gonna try to use these little spring clamps. See how it does. Only one way to try it, and that's to try it. Let's see. This thing's old as shit, dude. Yeah, pouring the living crap out of it. Yeah, it's got some slivers going on there. Let's see if our situation worked. Top, bottom, and that goes in like that. Seems to work. Now, if I can do the rest without blowing anything out, that'd be awesome. There it is. Stupid, simple little jig. It's kind of a cool thing. Look how burnt that is. They're all just burnt. Jigs are just one of the things you have to build. This will go with the 10 million other ones I have. Just got to use your imagination, figure out what the quickest, fastest way is, and then do it. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to add just 1/8 of an inch to that and attach it in there and probably just glue it in with super glue. There it is. That worked pretty damn well. 1/2 inch little pieces cut at 3/16. This one's cut at 1/4 inch. They're about the same depth, 1/8 inch. It's kind of cool. Can you see the difference in height and all that? They're in there snug. There it is, very cool. Went from a mistake to looking kind of awesome. We have one ready to be oiled. Here it is. Ugh. So this is how big this thing is right here. It's kind of heavy actually for what it is, Gonna go put it aside. Now we're gonna work on all the other ones. There it is. This is a Surabin right there, because it looks like medieval. I don't know. 27-inch 3-shelf cherry sliding shelf unit. All these slide beautifully with a Chechen front. Chechen is that wood right there. There's the white oak. We call this one Surabin because it kind of looks medieval. 27 inches, 3 shelves, quarter-sawn white oak front with a wenge applique face. And it's beautiful. I actually like this better. I wish I would have done them all that way, but this one's special. This is a 4-shelf unit. African sapele with a, I guess that's just purely hard rock maple. A little molding in there, the applique molding. This is almost 3 foot tall, 5 7/8 wide shelves by 20. You see that? See how curly that is? It's amazing. I'm gonna show you the body first. So we can get that in there, see that? You see the figuring in that? Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So there it is. You see all that? 35 7/8 tall, 20-inch long shelves, 5 7/8 deep. Beautiful, made by yours truly. There it is. I'll see you in the next video. You have an awesome day. Go outside and play. Hug somebody you love. Be safe out there, and I'll see you next time right here on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. That's me. Happy Thanksgiving, America.
Subscribe now.